Okay, you're watching Roman Handt. We're back talking raw ideas, focusing on fashion entrepreneurship. We've actually grown. You can see us now. We're on video. So I want to talk to you guys about fashion rehab. For me, it's about doing something new. Because like in the fashion industry, we get so bored and sometimes you think like, oh, people, they don't get what I do, or I should conform to retail, or all of these things. And then what's kind of nice, what's happened is I've got a very special guest with me, Constanza, and she's going to introduce herself just now. I'm working on a project called Hillbrowfication, which she's doing for Dance Umbrella this year. And I'm lucky enough to make costumes for her amazing production. So I'm quickly going to ask you, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Constanza. I'm the choreographer, but also more like a director, because I work with dance. I come from dance. My formation was dance, but then I went really into some kind of mixed form of theater and dance. But I don't follow straight narratives, so I work with many different texts. But I work always with text. Sometimes a lot of it. I get a lot of criticism by it in the dance world because I don't like the people talk. So. But I don't care, because it's more like a hybrid form, I would say. And I actually collaborate a lot with different, now I'm collaborating with you, with fashion, I collaborate with stage designers and video artists, and so really it's always I always see the production like something quite rich,
Yes.
Like a theater production or something that dance normally, what happens in dance, this is part of my introduction, believe it or not, it's amazing. It's like a bare stage, with people with very simple clothing, doing some stuff, that's more like dance is being perceived, I'm trying to get it out of there, to make it so to use the same artifacts, theater and opera, they use everything, right? So why not dance should not, So.
Exactly.
It's the poorest art actually of all of them, so that's what I'm doing, that's my work, that's bringing dance into a different form.
So would you also say there's you're a bit of a visual artist that way? So you try, because it's kind of interesting, I've seen now we went to the opening of the Dance Umbrella yesterday, and there's still kind of a lot of tradition to dance in the way they dress people and the way, I suppose you see the movement of the body and stuff. What's always kind of nice working with you is you're highly experimental in the things you do, basically, the collaborations, you see where they go, you're quite good at also navigating them. This whole thing with trying to take dance out of its known territory. Now, we've spoken a lot about it before, and I know a little bit more about your background, and you've always kind of pushed the boundaries. This time, you've worked with children from Hillbrow. The piece is called Hillbrowfication. We're going to go into that now. It's part of your projects for future cities. And now you've come back to South Africa and you're doing this piece with the children. So quickly, just inform us that collaboration with the children, the process, that the people kind of understand, also young designers out there, that you don't have to be in charge completely. You can have a vision, but it's always kind of interesting to have other people bring other elements to what you're doing. So could you quickly fill us in about the story, because I think it's hysterical.
I had decided to work with the Hebrew Theater when I was working with another project, and I happened to rent a space there, and I met Gerald Bester, who's the director, and he's a great person and a great artist, and we got very excited about working with the children. And I did work with children and teenagers before, so I was a little bit between excited and terrified, because it can be really, really difficult to work, especially teenagers, they have hormones, and but I thought, okay, let's just bring something that makes spark their fantasy, and they will be very busy thinking. So I thought about, take the subject of Afrofuturism, which is very fashionable right now anyway. So, and I start to research in Afrofuturistic novels. So we're using quite a bit of text of a novel called Mindscape, which is it's like a completely futuristic novel in which there are some people who has no race, and there's people who really takes this sort of different take. It's a lot of racial connotations, but they're taken from a completely different point, and I think that's actually really necessary and very important for them to work and to kind of work out their identity, and to empower themselves as well. You know? So, and I think also like children, they kind of will connect always with that, with science fiction. And so with Mindscape, we use also like other texts, from other books, and I also make some interviews with them, and the idea was to take some ambitions of them, how they imagine that neighborhood, which is like the worst reputation neighborhood in Johannesburg, and everybody tells you don't go there, and every taxi driver don't want to bring you there. When you see you go to Hillbrowfication, they're all worried and you want to disappear as soon as possible, and so they're so heavily, like already this very heavy connotation of criminality and a bad place. And these children are living, they're very sweet and they're really geeky actually. They're very, very nice, well behaved, and very, very, very smart children. So it's this contrast, you say why a place that has a very bad reputation has like to have, people, everything is bad. That's not true, And that's the future in a way. Those kids are the future of that place, So how to imagine a future in which there will be the people who has the agency and they will have the power to do things, and they will have the business and they will have everything. So they have some ideas, we include in some text, so that was the whole thing. And then I say, if we're gonna do that, I have to work with you. Because we're gonna talk about those futuristic stuff. I felt like this idea already immediately was from the beginning, and it's not like, okay, and I'm gonna ask, say like, okay, let's do something with children and Roman about the future, And because like that, I think of bringing this fashion, because you do fashion, and to bring fashion into these children, it's great because it's like they're really not behaving. It's not children fashion at all.
Yes, no, exactly.
So it becomes such an expression of creativity, and gives them so much. Like they love to do it also because it's playful.
Exactly. I think the nice thing about working with the children, especially for me, when it makes the costumes, because I do make things that push boundaries and that are new in shape, and I challenge quite like how people see fashion. It's kind of nice to work with the young people, and when they see what we've made, they get so excited, and it's so nice to see because they're such nice clients. I wish all clients were like that. They love the textures, and like too much is not enough. Like they just love having more and more and more and more.
They have no shame about what they're wearing.
Exactly. They are completely happy with it, confident about it, and actually they just ooze personality, which I think is the great thing about working with children.
Because, for example, if you will work, you will bring those undergarments, in some dancers or actors, they will be so annoying. They will be like, oh, nobody's too tight, and my body this, and my body that, and I want something here, and I'm in that shape here. And then you have people with actually more full. There's some girls who really have like full bodies, and they're not ashamed. It's beautiful, actually. It gives them they feel great, they feel awesome, they feel beautiful with that, And you can see how and then how they choose it, because I think it was very nice that you give them that. I put something that there's a certain freedom for them to pick up pieces and do things with the pieces.
Yes.
And you see how they transform after this one scene where they're all playing, and which pieces they choose to wear and how.
Yes.
It's amazing. Like, for example, like when Steve, which is one of the guys who plays the xylophone, every time he goes to play the xylophone, and he has one of these sort of Queen Elizabeth afro thing, and he's sitting there like the king of the xylophone there, and very serious, with his thing, and it's great, because they really become something else, it becomes something else than the dance, and the theater I think has something else, it just takes its own way.
Exactly.
And I think that is amazing what happens with the clothes, with your clothes there.
Well, I think the nice thing over there is for me, with the way that I work in my clothing anyway, is it's all about transformation and like how you can style a thing in different ways. And what was kind of nice, that the piece that you've written, there is actually a part of where they exchange clothing. So when we started working on it, when like Raymond and I thought about it, we just kind of made these abstract pieces, because you also told me that children are really great at improvising, apparently. Yes. So like you could just kind of tell them to do things, and they're quite good with improvising, which then also just added on to my philosophy about fashion, is like take a piece and do with it whatever you want. And that actually... that whole process, that was just like very lucky for everybody involved. Like the stuff they do, the way the children style some stuff. I came there as a fashion designer saying you could do this, maybe you could do that. And then every now and again when someone's on stage, you see the most incredible styling detail that they've done completely themselves, which I might steal for future reference. I don't know.
That's the idea. And I think that's how, this is how something like enriches what you do, enriches what I do. and also like give them a whole field of possibilities for them. No, I think that's how art should work. And then, like, I mean, it should be like a constant experimentation in which you kind of bring yourself forward, and you just, because I mean, we are limited, you know, like we are, as humans, we're not going to have all the ideas, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We need to feed ourselves with something that has nothing to do with us, you know, like it needs to come with fresh air and open possibilities that we will never think about, you know, because, and that's what this kind of work brings, you know, like that you're not just stuck with your concept and your thing, and you know, that's great actually. So.
I also think what's kind of nice, just to say the final word about fashion in South Africa, what was kind of nice to work in this environment with Hillbrow, because you speak about these people not wanting to go to Hillbrow. Now, I don't have a problem working in the city, but I was so surprised about the Hillbrow Theatre and the amazing things that happen around there. It's quite incredible.
That's what they say. They say it's the only safe place, actually. And
is it?
People go there because it's safe. It's so beautiful, actually.
It is fantastic. It's fantastical. No. And I think the great thing about it is because we've been speaking about all to the crafters and the people that work there, and we're all actually quite excited about bringing a certain kind of street style to Hillbrow. And I think while designing this and thinking about the children and like all the influences, we did the styling thing today, which is pictures that we will put up later on the website. So we kind of styled the children in like almost like African street style, but to the extreme, colorful, quite playful, and we did bring it back to fashion. And I kind of think like if you tie it all in together with the contemporary dance that these kids do through obviously your influence, I actually think it's a thing that they would remember forever, and I actually think they could be part of a movement. It's quite incredible, like just the fun dress sense these people have.
I also think with these children, I mean, things will stay and grow. I mean, they take many of them and most of them, you know, they're kind of like, they're so interested, you know. So being able to experience something, it's not like something that is just, okay, it stops there. But actually, yeah, they will keep on saying, okay, I have this and that, and then, you know, they play pieces together. Also, I see how they play with your clothes and how they play with fashion, and also what they do with the material and the direction I give them, you know, because they find details and they do, you know, exit and entrance in the way they feel like, and which is actually amazing, because they make up stuff on the way to there, so to see them doing details, you know, and I love that, you know, like when because I'm really like, I love to see very complex images, you know, where you have to look at everywhere, you know, because you miss something, you know, and so I'm never like this, and I'm never grateful enough when people start to make the details, you know, when they take the performance for themselves and they start to make details, because this exercise of taking something from yourself, it's just gonna bring, for anything you do, it's going to have a result for sure.
Exactly. Okay, the other interesting thing is, guys, what is the cherry on top of the cake is that this piece is actually going back to Germany, and Constanza is taking all the kids there. So Constanza, I want to ask you, what are you going to do for African street style? Are you going to promote it a bit over there when we...
I think people will be like they will rave, you know, I mean, it's going to be like, I think, you know, this photos we did today with them,
yeah,
I mean, that's beyond. I mean, we should get like a good coverage in some nice magazine, you know, because I mean, there's a lot of fashion and a lot of like hipster magazines, they should just cover this, you know, and publish those photos, because they're amazing. It's super inspiring, you know,
that's exactly what I think we should do an ad campaign for your European travels and just like fashion it completely.
I mean, I actually think the people will be really interested to see, you know, I mean, like, and I think it's nice because, you know, like my public is so mixed, you know, like, I mean, there's a lot of people who also come from fashion and stuff like that, you know, so there's people who come from fashion, there's people like from design, there's, you know, so it's actually nice because, I mean, the whole proposal will be very interesting, so.
For all those fashion entrepreneurs, if you want to check out the theatre world and how it is complete rehab for any creative person in fashion, then we will have all the details on romanhandt.com. You can catch it there, and Constanza will be another guest in the future, but you can't know just yet when. But thank you so much for the project, and it's always freaking lovely working with you. I almost swore there because I'm so passionate about your work, but thank you so much.
I have the same. I mean, and everybody is so incredibly inspired and happy with this, you know, so working with you as well, so thanks.
Great, thank you, Constanza. Thank you. Okay, catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Okay, so that was it for Roman Handt Raw Ideas, this time around for Fashion Rehab. And guys, I swear, if you are going on an all-time low, just do some costume design and you'll be on an all-time high. Did you get that? Yeah, no, we don't repeat.
Can you say that again? No, I can't.
Okay, just riff. Where's my beer? It's empty. Don't put that in. I could see your face.